Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're here with another Western North Carolina fishing report with Dale Collins at Tuckaseegee Fly Shop. How's it going, Dale?
Doing good, man. Just really enjoying some cool weather here for the dog days of summer.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. I looked on my phone, and it doesn't look like it's going to get above the 90s anytime soon. I hope we're not jinxing ourselves.
Yeah, we'll just have to take it a day at a time and appreciate what we got when we got it.
Yeah. So with that cool weather, obviously, it's probably you've got to pick up in the trout activity, particularly, I guess, in the park, right?
Yeah, we're starting to see in the park and the smaller creeks on the Western North Carolina Fly Fishing Trail, we're starting to see that shift towards the fall. We've noticed our daylight is starting to change. You can just kind of tell it in the late afternoon. It just looks a little different than it did, 2-3 weeks ago. But we're seeing the color orange come in, and that's always a good sign. That is the light at the end of the tunnel for summer. But orange stimulators, orange parachute atoms, they're really starting to kick in. But we're still seeing those summer patterns working, to greenie weenies and hoppers. So it's kind of a nice blend of things going on in the water. Pretty soon here in the next couple of weeks, we'll start to see, as we start seeing the water really start to cool off with overnight lows getting into the 50s and so on. The brown trout in the lower portions of the national park creeks will kind of go into this pre-spawn mode where they are just eating everything. And so it's a great opportunity to go up, particularly in Deep Creek is where I see this happen the most. But you can go up in Deep Creek and throw a huge, like Chernobyl ant or a big hopper, and then underneath it, a 20-inch dropper with a Pat's rubber legs or girdle bug. And if they don't eat that girdle bug, they're going to come up and really investigate that Chernobyl or hopper. But it's one of the only times a year that you can suspend a rubber legs or a big heavy-weighted stonefly, and the fish react to it positively. So, because they're seeing it in a different column of the water that they're used to. So, they're not picky, and they're eating everything, kind of gearing up for what's about to happen in October. It's really fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, we were talking before we started recording the fishing report. I mean, they'll be stocking for delayed harvest here pretty soon.
Exactly. So October 1st is when catch and release regulations kick in, and that doesn't mean they stock on October 1st, but I know the Swain and Jackson County areas will get their stockings October 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then on across the state, they'll have their dates obviously, and then that same first full week and thereafter. So we're right on the doorstep of fall, and it's these cooler temperatures here, we're not even running the air conditioning, windows are open at night kind of thing. It's a breath of fresh air after having several heat waves for extended periods over the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And, folks, you got to remember that the Bryson City area is super busy in the fall. So if you want to come fish, you probably should go book a hotel room now for sure.
Absolutely. It gets packed in here. We got, the leaf peepers, folks coming in to see the leaves change color, and that certainly makes it a popular time to fish because it's a pretty background on top of where you're fishing. So a lot of fun certainly is coming our way.
Yeah, and you've got a special event the first weekend in November too, don't you, Dale?
That's right. November 2nd is the 5th annual Smoky Mountain Fly Fishing Festival. And a little bit different this year. We're going to host it with our friends, again, Nantahala Brewing, but this time at their new outpost in Silva. So last year we had it at their brew pub over here in Bryson City. It was a great event. We had music and of course, food and drinks were flowing. But this year we're going to take it to Silva, and it'll be from 12 to 4 on November 2nd. And there's going to be music. There's going to be SEC football that evening. And lots more things. It's also going to be a celebration of 5 years of Tuck Fly Shop. We celebrated 5 years on August 1st that we opened in 2014. So we're gonna take a evening and celebrate that milestone and do it with our friends. And the whole reason for that event is to celebrate the heritage of fly fishing in this area, and we're blessed to be a part of that. So we want to celebrate folks and vendors that have helped be a part of that. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's really neat. Congratulations on the 5 years. And I mean, I don't know, folks. Fishing in Western North Carolina in the fall is one of my favorite times to be out there. I think I like it even more than the spring.
Yeah, it's kind of like you got cabin fever coming out of the spring, but the fall it's just like the good times are here again after a hot summer.
Absolutely. And folks, if you have a question for Dale, if you'll just send them to me on the Articulate Fly Facebook page, we'll be sure to read them. And if we read your question on the air, you'll get hooked up with some Articulate Fly swag. And Dale, before I let you go, why don't you let folks know where they can find you so they can drop by the shop and get hooked up for this great upcoming fall fishing season, or maybe book a guide trip?
Absolutely. We're located in downtown Silva as well as downtown Bryson City. You can find us on the web at tuckflyshop.com. You can give us a call. You can email us, info@tuckflyshop.com. And, of course, across all the social media outlets, Tuck Fly Shop. So love to help you. Give us a call. We're going to shoot it straight and be glad to help folks any way possible. And with that being said, one quick thing I want to mention, over the weekend, we had some pretty serious landslides in the Nantahala Gorge. And just to kind of give folks an update on that, currently Highway 19 is closed. So if you're planning on fishing the lower Nantahala, that's going to be pretty tough. Did have some folks in the shop today from the upper, and they said it was okay, but they had to take the long way around through Robbinsville to get back to Bryson City. So just keep that in mind and give us a call for updates on that, and we'll be glad to help.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Dale. And folks, owe it to yourself to drop by the shop and meet Dale, Bobby, Shannon, and the shop dogs, and get out there and catch a few this week. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Dale.
Thanks, Marvin. You too.